Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very special day for Michigan basketball. About 15 hours ago, so I guess last night, not today, Tipton Edits revealed that four-star point guard of the 2022 class, Doug McDaniel, had committed to Michigan. Uh, he had just visited campus on June 16th, just a couple days ago, which must have pushed him over the edge and gotten Juwan this big commitment. Doug's reasoning here, I've just talked about the point guards in this class, actually, but Doug's reasoning here is pretty simple. Um, he talked about the connection he felt with Michigan's coaching staff. Um, Obviously, he was quite close with Jawan, but also to Phil Martelli, who Doug said he talked with every day throughout the recruiting process. And it's very important that Doug is from the DMV region in the DC area because that is where two of Michigan's rotational players for next year, I assume, Hunter Dickinson and Terrence Williams went. They are from there. So that's really important. And one of the main reasons why Doug decided to come to Michigan, he felt like it was already there were a lot of guys from his home on the team, and he felt at home there. Um, and of course, Juwan played in DC with the Wizards and made a bunch of connections in the area, which is basketball rich in talent. So that's a big deal for Juwan to have gotten those connections, and he clearly got Doug McDaniel. Now, I apologize for the lag on the screen. The Wi-Fi is spotty at best. Just bear with me because these game highlights are of Doug McDaniel against Montverde Academy when he was only a freshman. Montverde Academy, as you might know, was home of Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes, one of the best teams of all time in high school basketball, and Doug McDaniel went at them, which is why I'm so excited for him to be coming to Michigan. He fits Juwan's system perfectly. He can create a shot if he has to, but his passing vision is up there with the best point guards in this class, if not the best. And his off-ball intelligence makes him a real fit for Juwan's ball screen offense. As Michigan fans know, Juwan loves to incorporate screens on ball and off ball into the offense. Doug's great around screens. He's great in the pick and roll. He's great identifying who might get open off screens and how he can attack based on a screen. And he'll have hopefully a good center when he's point guard for Michigan to set him those screens. Now, Doug also has a lot of other skills other than his passing ability. He averaged 20 and 10 assists, 20 points, 10 assists for Paul V, and he also averaged 19 points a game on Team Takeover, which is his AAU team in the DC area, which is also where Hunter Dickinson and Terrence Williams played AAU. So very many connections to those two guys. Now, he is lightning quick. He has a high motor, and he's a great leader. He's going to be a Michigan fan favorite for sure. By the time he's probably a sophomore, he'll get some playing time, and he'll quickly show Michigan fans what he's made of. He's just very athletic, very explosive, and just a fun guy to watch play basketball, even if he's not the biggest guy. Defensively, I've talked about him, but he has great instincts. He gets a lot of steals. He even gets some blocks. And he plays a very pit bull, hard, aggressive defense on the ball. Even if he's not the biggest guy, he's 5'9", he's 155. If he adds 10 pounds of muscle, I wouldn't be too concerned about him just based on those factors. And the fact that he's such an energetic player with such a high motor, I think he'll fit in just fine. Now, hopefully, Doug is able to sit a year because he's not the highest recruit. He's not so ready body-wise, physically-wise for the college D1 Big Ten game. So he can sit behind Frankie Collins and Zeb Jackson for this year and get some minutes, maybe some minutes sophomore year, and really step up as a junior and a senior as the leader of this team. Because he's a 3 to 4 year player. He's not a top 20 recruit. He's not a 5-star. He's a top 80 guy. He's actually ranked 83rd on the 247 composite. So he is definitely a 3 to 4 year player, and he'll blossom as a leader when he's a junior and senior, I predict. Just like Xavier Simpson, just like Derek Walton, just like many of Michigan's point guards, undersized point guards. I'd call Doug McDaniel a crossover between Mike Smith with the shot-making ability and lack of size, but also Xavier Simpson with vision ball handling ability. He's a great point guard. And for those Michigan fans who are upset about maybe Doug McDaniel instead of Seth Trimble, who I know was very watched by Juwan and Michigan staff. I thought Michigan was going to go after Seth Trimble instead of Doug McDaniel. But you guys should not be upset about this commitment at all. Even though it does mean likely Seth Trimble is not going to be coming to Michigan, it's just too unrealistic for him to want to come to a team where there's such a logjam at point guard. He's not going to want to play shooting guard. It looks likely right now that Seth Trimble ends up in UNC, North Carolina, Chapel Hill. But he's not coming to Michigan. And honestly, that might not be the worst thing because Doug McDaniel is such a good fit for this offense. He fits the small Michigan point guard, like I always said. We always have these undersized guys. So I wouldn't be too upset about that. Now, what does this mean for Michigan in the 2022 recruiting class other than Seth Trimble? Well, the quickness of this commitment is going to be really beneficial for Juwan because it gets Michigan on the board with a commit, sorry. Gets us right now, we're 14th on the 247 recruiting rankings just based on this recruitment or commitment alone. And it's freeing up what would have been a hassle for Juwan to find a point guard that was willing to come to Michigan because obviously Jaden Bradley was one of the guys. His recruitment's going to drag out. It looks like Seth Trimble's recruitment is not going to drag out as much, but just getting Doug McDaniel on the squad will free up Juwan and the Michigan staff to focus on some other positions, center and wing especially, where there's going to be some battles for guys like Donovan Clingan, Ty Rogers, Gregory Glenn, and maybe even Jalen Duran from Michigan. So we can focus on those guys. There's going to probably be 3 or 4 more open scholarships for 2022. So getting the point guard out of the way, getting a very good leader, getting a great energy guy with a lot of skill on offense and defense, that's a huge thing for Michigan. I'm really happy about Doug McDaniel. Now, one other thing, this basically makes it seem like Hunter Dickinson is going to stick with Michigan. The way Doug McDaniel was talking about after his visit, it seemed like he was ready to play with Hunter Dickinson, or practice at least if he's not going to get that much playing time. He was ready to play with Hunter Dickinson and Terrence Williams next season. That was probably a pretty big factor into his commitment at Michigan, playing with 2 former AAU teammates. So, yes, that is what I take out of that. Really this is a positive step for Michigan, and it should set the stage for what should be a top 5 recruiting class in 2022. I'll talk more about that later, but yeah, Seth Trimble visited June 13th, didn't commit. Doug McDaniel visits June 16th and commits immediately. And now we have our point guard for 2022, hopefully till 2026, and really big stuff today. This is exciting for sure. As you watch these highlights, he's a pit bull. He's just fierce, unafraid, and he'll be like that for Michigan. He won't be afraid of the Big Ten spotlight, and his size has never gotten in the way of anything for him before. It shouldn't now. So that'll be the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and more recruiting videos will be coming soon.